The NBA has gone through many different phases in its history, from the gritty defensive battles of the 1990s to the offensive explosions of the modern game. Every era has had its unique identity, but one period stands out as a turning point that reshaped basketball forever: the rise of the super team era. When we talk about super teams, we're talking about multiple star players, sometimes MVPs or future Hall of Famers, teaming up on one roster, often through free agency rather than natural team building. While dynasties have always existed, the way super teams formed in the 2000s and 2010s changed not only how games were played, but also how players approached loyalty, contracts, and their personal legacies. To truly understand how the super team era changed the NBA forever, let's start at the beginning. Yes, dominant teams existed before. Think of the Showtime Lakers with Magic and Kareem, or the Celtics' Big Three of the 1980s with Bird, McHale, and Parrish. But those teams were largely built through trades and the draft. Free agency wasn't nearly as powerful as it would later become. Players didn't just leave their teams to form alliances with their rivals. That shift started in 2007-2008, when the Boston Celtics acquired Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen to join Paul Pierce. The Celtics instantly went from a struggling franchise to championship contenders. In their very first season, the new Big Three won the 2008 NBA title. For fans, it felt exciting, but it also set a precedent. Teams realized that if you could convince stars to join forces, you could win immediately. No more years of slow rebuilding. No more relying only on the draft. Then came the decision that changed everything: LeBron James in 2010. When LeBron announced on national television, "I'm taking my talents to South Beach," to join Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh in Miami, the NBA landscape shifted overnight. The Heat became must-watch television. Fans were divided. Some cheered, others felt the trade. Cleveland burned LeBron's jerseys. The term ring chasing entered mainstream debate. But one thing was undeniable: the Heat were the blueprint for the modern super team. LeBron's move showed players they didn't have to wait for management to build a contender. They could control their own destiny. 4 straight finals appearances and 2 championships later, the Heat proved that this formula worked. Of course, every era has its critics. Traditionalists argued that super teams destroyed competition. They said players like Kobe Bryant, Dirk Nowitzki, and Tim Duncan proved that staying loyal and grinding with one franchise could also lead to greatness. In fact, Dirk's 2011 Mavericks beating LeBron's Heat in the finals is still remembered as a victory for loyalty and team basketball over manufactured dominance. But if the Celtics and Heat planted the seeds of the super team era, the Golden State Warriors took it to another level. In 2016, fresh off a record-breaking 73-9 season, the Warriors stunned the basketball world by signing Kevin Durant. This wasn't just a superstar joining a good team. This was one of the best players alive joining one of the greatest teams ever assembled. With Durant, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, the Warriors became nearly unbeatable. And the results? Utter dominance. Golden State won back-to-back championships in 2017 and 2018, losing just one game in the 2017 playoffs. Many fans felt the NBA had become predictable. For some, it was frustrating. For others, it was mesmerizing to watch such elite talent sharing the floor. Either way, the league would never be the same. The Warriors super team also highlighted another shift: the power of free agency and player empowerment. No longer were front offices the only architects of dynasties. Players themselves were making bold choices, calling each other, forming alliances, and rewriting the rules of competition. But the impact of the super team era went beyond wins and losses. It shaped fan culture. Social media exploded with debates. Did KD ruin the NBA? Did LeBron start the super team trend, or was Boston's Big Three the true beginning? Was loyalty undervalued? Were rings won with super teams worth as much as rings won by staying put? Even TV ratings and NBA economics were influenced. Super teams drew massive attention, leading to higher viewership, packed arenas, and global storylines. But smaller market teams struggled to keep their stars as players increasingly looked to join big markets or franchises with existing talent. And yet, despite the criticism, the Super Team era forced the NBA to evolve. Teams got smarter about building rosters, focusing on flexibility and cap space to lure stars. The league also adjusted salary cap rules, trying to balance competition while still allowing player freedom. In many ways, the Super Team era blurred the line between competition and entertainment. The NBA became as much about drama, narratives, and free agency rumors as it was about the games themselves. Fans debated legacies as passionately as they debated box scores. So, has the Super Team era ended? Not exactly. Today, stars like LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and Kawhi Leonard have continued to change teams in pursuit of titles. The Brooklyn Nets experiment with Durant, Kyrie, and Harden showed that super teams don't always guarantee success. Meanwhile, teams like the Milwaukee Bucks, who won the 2021 championship with Giannis staying loyal, reminded fans that traditional paths still exist. But whether you love them or hate them, super teams have left an undeniable mark. They redefined what it means to be a franchise player. They elevated the importance of free agency. And they changed how fans judge greatness. Are you loyal like Dirk and Kobe, or strategic like LeBron and KD?
In the end, the Super Team era wasn't just about basketball. It was about choice, empowerment, and the clash between tradition and evolution. The league is more global, more dramatic, and more unpredictable because of it. And one thing is certain: the ripple effects of the Super Team era will shape the NBA for decades to come. So, the question remains, when we look back in 20 or 30 years, how will we remember this era? As a golden age of talent and competition? Or as a time when the balance of the league was broken? Whatever your answer, one fact is clear: the Super Team era changed the NBA forever.